And Naples, Italy is known to have some of the best New York City pizza shop. 11 Morning News starts right now.
11 Morning News and Calorama in for Vanessa.
And I'm Craig Treadway. We begin this Monday morning with a look at your weather and your traffic. Julie Millay checking on the roads for you in just a moment. Good morning, Julie.
Good morning. But first, meteorologist Stacy-Ann Gooden with a look at her Monday forecast.
Yes, the Monday forecast starting off okay. By midweek, though, things are going to get a little interesting because we're tracking a tropical system. Here's what's happening. Winds mainly out of the east, northeast. It's a quiet start to the week. High pressure remaining in control. It's been like that for quite some time, but we are going to pay close attention to this area of low pressure. And as we've been talking about since the last week, it does have the potential to develop into our next named storm. The next name on the list is Helene. Right now it's sitting just off the coast, about a couple hundred miles or so off the coast of South Carolina, but we're going to continue to monitor that. It's inching a little bit closer, and we'll head on up in toward the Ohio Valley before you know it. Heavy rain is expected across the Carolinas. Right now, very quiet across the scene. Lodi 60, Harlem 62. So it's a mild start to the day. There are some 50s mainly north and west. Dew point temperatures also nice and comfy. We'll see how comfy that ride is with Julie Millay.
The PIX11 traffic.
Una pizza napolitana was cited for, quote, only the purest tradition in toppings with extraordinary quality ingredients.
I don't know how we run this story, but we don't have a slice to talk about.
You know what? I'll tell you what. If they're beating Naples, Italy, my guess is it's Neapolitan style pizza.
I also love when Craig speaks Italian.
This right, the right to IV.
PIX11 News.
All right, inheritances left to, you know, but do you want to take that on? I mean, I'm very confused on why.
I think most folks just want their pet to be taken care of. But yeah, listen, some pet foods are pretty expensive. And then there's the vet costs and all that good stuff.
Can you imagine how many people are clamming over that puppy to get them?
Absolutely. Get that inheritance, right?
Oh, jeez.
I would leave Cooley whatever he wanted.
Oh.
Whatever he wanted.
Linus would just say, give me the cookies and take whatever you want.
Yeah.
As he should. Well, taking a look, guys. Satellite radar, very quiet conditions. Winds out of the east, northeast, and still very light, dry, just a few clouds. But you can kind of make out what's happening further to our south, just off the Carolina coast. This area of low pressure does have the potential to become a tropical storm. It actually does meet the wind criteria, but does not mean the organization or lack of organization thereof. So something that we're going to watch. So it is trying to get its act together. Maximum sustained winds is at around 45 miles per hour right now, which does, again, meet the standard for a tropical storm. It just doesn't have that tightened core, and it lacks a little bit of organization. But as you can see, it's bringing in some rain across North Carolina right now and parts of South Carolina. So as you can tell right now, area of low pressure off the coast, Charleston, South Carolina, will at some point become tropical storm. It does have the potential to do so, maybe sometime today. So we'll continue to monitor that. But if you look at the track, look where it goes in toward the Ohio Valley, and it's going to hook to the right, so we can get some rain from all of that. There's going to be a secondary low that'll develop, which may give it a little bit of a bump. But right now, options. So then did the dividends go just to the pets?
Listen, we've heard about those. We've heard about those arrangements, like, you know, the guardian has to take care of the pet, and he's left a huge estate. Yeah, I wonder who's living better.
I can imagine.
Sounds like a movie.
You know what? I think there was a movie.
I know.
There have been a couple of movies.
I can see that for sure.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can see flashing lights behind Julie, which we'll get to, but I wanted to point your attention to our satellite and radar. Very quiet scene. Winds mainly out of the northeast. And again, we're tracking this potential cyclone. Tropical Cyclone 8. That has not met the criteria. Very disorganized. It's kind of like elongated at this time. The high pressure is keeping things at bay for the time being. Here is exactly what I'm talking about. You see how stretched out it is thanks to those upper level winds. It's kind of tearing the storm apart a little bit. It's really not allowing it the proper environment to strengthen. Right now it has strengthened from 45 to maximum sustained winds of 50 miles per hour, something that we're going to continue to watch. I mean, it may surprise us and become a bit organized later on and may become named, but I think the likelihood of that is slowly dimming. But here's a look at the track. It's worth noting, and that's, you could see here, it's still saying, hey, the potential is still there because it may strengthen just a little bit. Maximum sustained winds right now, 50 miles per hour. Later on, it'll weaken. It will continue to weaken as it treks further north into our area and eventually through the Ohio Valley in the northeast. So again, something that we're going to continue to watch. There is a flood watch highlighted in green for the areas that you see here, including Rowley and Longview, and then highlighted in red, that is your tropical storm warning. Wind advisory highlighted in beige, and we're talking about the potential for tornadoes, a lot of downpours, excessive rainfall amounts, flooding, beach erosion, strong rip currents, and the like. Here's a look at our storm surge outlook. Maybe about 1 to 3 feet is possible for inundation, something that we're going to continue to monitor. We'll bring you the latest. And as far as the latest in totals, it's come down a little bit, but it's still quite significant. That may do some damage. For us, we're looking at a hefty amount of rain as well. Timing it all out for you. Take this with a grain of salt. We're going to continue to update accordingly, but it looks like the consensus is Wednesday being the wettest of the days. And this may be a slow mover. It may stick around for a little while. It could come as early as late tomorrow night for parts of the area, but it does stay unsettled even into Wednesday. There could be some heavy downpours and the heaviest amounts of rain mainly east of the city, Nassau, Suffolk, Connecticut. We'll let you know if that changes. So it's something that we're going to continue to monitor. And there you have it. Rain totals possible 3 inches eastern Long Island, about a ½ inch or a little bit more New York City. Points east, it does get a little higher, a little less further north and west. And we're looking at, I don't know how this came into play, though, but I am not really too concerned about that. This is just saying that, hey, if it treks a little bit further west, we may get a little bit more spread out in terms of totals. Right now, temperature-wise, where you are, what's going on there?
Well, Stacy-Ann, we're still working this
gorgeous. We're in the 60s, 61 Hell's Kitchen, Prospect Heights at 64, West Orange 60. By this afternoon, we'll be in the upper 70s, low 80s, so a nice comfortable day with winds out of the northeast. And a look at our baseball forecast. It's going to be a glorious evening for baseball, you know, but come midweek, if there are any games, it may or may not happen. I mean, depending on the timing and all that. But for now, overnight lows will be in the 60s, and there may be some areas of fog, more so for tonight. You may notice them a little bit this morning as well. Next 3 days, look at that. We are looking at similar readings for tomorrow. More in the way of fog in the morning, and then it looks like things take a turn for the not so great with the humidity building and wet and dreary conditions. We'll have a closer look at that in the 7-day. We'll send it over to Julie now.
Stacy-Ann, thank you so much. 5:43 now. Take a look at this shot.
Good morning weather.
All right, guys. Well, you know, you saw the 3-day forecast. Now let's take a look ahead at what you can expect. Now, we're not looking at a drought in our neck of the woods. Parts of the country, yes, but we are at a big surplus. Central Park as well as Islip. But for the month of September, not so much, almost 2 inches below average at Central Park, and also at a deficit in terms of our monthly temperature reading. Satellite and radar, we're quiet right now. High pressure's been in control. We have several of them, in fact, but we're taking a look at potential tropical cyclone 8. Right now, it is attached. It is interacting with a boundary and stronger upper level winds that's preventing it from evolving into a tropical storm. It's preventing it from becoming named, as a matter of fact, although its maximum sustained winds up 50 miles per hour. We're going to keep an eye on it. We'll let you know if anything changes, but right now, not much changing in the temperature category. Northeast New Jersey, mainly in the 50s. Maybe a light sweater will suffice. 49 Montgomery, we just dropped a degree there not too long ago. 61 New York City, afternoon temperatures mainly in the 70s. Maybe some haziness to have to contend with, but not too much. It's a little bit foggy in spots, mainly north and west, but a greater chance of fog for tonight. So these are the overnight temperatures for tomorrow morning, mainly 60s. As you can see, there is the high. We have winds mainly out of the east, south, east-northeast, excuse me. All right, area of low pressure to our south. It's interacting with the boundary, which we talked about. Once it kind of gets shifted onto land, then it's going to continue to weaken. And with that said, there could be some heavy downpours, winds, beach erosion, storm surge, all of that is there. But take a look at how things will evolve. As you can see, it moves up into the Ohio Valley. Then there's going to be a secondary low forming just off the coast. That could spell some issues for us by midweek, and it stays unsettled through Friday, as a matter of fact. So here to autumn, if you will. Overnight temperatures mainly in the 60s. We'll send it over to Julie now.
Stacy-Ann, thank you so much. 5:52. Let's head out.
That was the sweetest message.
That was Roosevelt Leftwich reporting.
The news at 6 starts right now.
Headway.
And I'm Calorama in for Vanessa on this Monday morning. You're never more than 10 minutes away from traffic and weather. Traffic anchor Julie Millay standing by. Meteorologist Stacy-Ann Gooden with a look at her work week forecast. So today looks good, but how are we looking for the rest of the week?
Today looks gorgeous, yes, but the rest of the week looks a little dicey, especially as we head into Wednesday and Thursday and even unsettled on Friday. Why this whole thing is panning out here. 50s and around 61 New York City, as you can see. Not too bad. Dew-point temperatures, nice, comfortable 40s and 50s, so it's pleasant, so no worries there. But here's a look at our winds. Still pretty still. And with that said, there may be some visibility issues that I'm noticing north and west of the city. Dropping the kids off at school, 63 degrees. It's going to be bright and mild, and then the ride home should be okay. We'll be in the upper 70s. They certainly won't need jackets today. We'll have a closer look at the extended coming up. Right now, we're going to send things over to Julie Millay.
The PIX11 traffic report presented by Ford.
A trough in addition to that, and it is connected to a frontal boundary, which is allowing it to not be tropical in nature at this point. So taking a look at our current temperatures, we're in the low 50s across northeastern New Jersey and across the tri-state. We're at 49, Montgomery 54, White Plains 61, New York City, and a look at what's happening this afternoon, mainly 70s. So close to where we should be. Winds mainly out of the east, and it'll be more of like an east-northeast kind of flow. Overnight, we're in the low to mid 60s, not as cool, I should say. Here's a look ahead. There is that high pressure system. We've had that high in control. Last week was gorgeous, right? But that's all going to change. It's eventually going to shift. It's going to allow for this system to head on up the Ohio Valley. So it's going to stay inland. But what's going to happen is that there's going to be another area of low pressure, some more heavy rain across our area. So we're looking at a timeline. There could be some late night sprinkles tomorrow, but the consensus is Wednesday into Thursday, and it does kind of linger even into Friday. The potential is there. So here's a look at our 7-day forecast. We officially arrives Sunday morning. For now, we're going to send things over to Julie Millay with a look at the LIE.
That's right, Stacy, and the LIE.
Meteorologist Stacy-Ann Gooden with a look at your commuter weather report and a nice dry start to the day. If you happen to be in places like Orange County or even Sussex, the next half hour, back to you guys.
Stacy-Ann, thanks. A beach day with a purpose for some young nature lovers.
Yep, approximately 50 Girl Scouts took part in a beach cleanup at Hertfordshire State.